Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Oh, goodness. Okay, are we awake? Do we have our coffee? I need more. I should have refilled. I'm so sorry. I'll do my best. One cup on this Monday. Y'all, it was a weekend. I don't know. If you have toddlers, you know, right? Like weekends are we don't weekend well around here. It is hard. So, anyway, it's Monday. We survived it. Another week. We can do this. I'm so excited. We get to chat some more about Wild in the Hollow. Hey, girl. Okay, this is funny. If you ever watch these replays, Periscope doesn't bring the chat over whenever you save it. So if you're watching the replay and I'm like looking really close, it's because I have bad eyes and I can't see what people are saying in the comments that float up, which you can't see in the replay. So I promise I'm not talking to some weird corner of my phone. There are actually people interacting and it's fun. But if you watch it on YouTube, you don't see that. So I guess an even better reason to come hang out with me live, right? So you can see what I'm actually talking about. I have a fun giveaway for you today at the end of our chat, so I won't chat very long, and then I have another giveaway to tell you about. So 2 giveaways, 1 Periscope. It's amazing. This is why we need coffee. All right, so we are chatting today about Wild in the Hollow, chapters 7 through 9, and I can hardly believe we only have like maybe 2 more of these left to go. It's been so much fun. A little weird. It's weird to do a book club when I'm basically talking to myself, so feel free to chat. You can totally chat. Just add your own comments. It's cool. Okay, so if you're following along, or if you haven't read the book yet, I try not to give anything away, so no spoilers, I promise. Mostly because Amber writes in such an amazing way that I couldn't do it justice even if I wanted to try to give you a spoiler. So buy the book, read the book, love the book. There we go. It's my sales pitch for the book. All right, so chapter 7 is called Thirsty. Y'all, she just writes the most amazing stories. I mean, she is a storyteller. Like, from the very heart of her, she's a storyteller. And I love, love, love reading a great story. And she tells a good one. She tells a good one in this chapter. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, this chapter is a little longer than some of the other ones. Some of the ones we've talked about previously have been a little on the shorter side, and this one had a little more meat to it. So I'm going to jump you over, if you're following along, you have your book. We're going to be on page 79. And this is a quote that I will read because, okay, to give you a little bit of background, what she's talking about is she's just had her first child, her first little boy, and they find out that they're pregnant again. And then she talks about the 2 miscarriages that she has. And so I wanted to read what she writes about that. She says, I had hoped that I would take rest in God during another heartbreak, but only when the breaking happens can anybody really know. There were moments it seemed that Jesus had literally walked in our door to sit with us on the couch. And there was something about that really stood out to me, and it's for me because that part of her story specifically is one that I can relate to, and I have been on that sofa and had Jesus walk in and feel just so present in those moments where it feels like everything is breaking down around you. And there were 2 that I thought of specifically, and if you have moments that you can relate to with this, that you've had that, you know, in the depths of what feels like it should be your deepest breaking point, but it's when God feels so near. I'd love for you to share it if you want. The 2 that I thought of were before we got pregnant with Maddie, I was pregnant and had a miscarriage around 12 weeks. And there were moments in there, in that grief and in that just disbelief period where we have never prayed so hard. We have never felt God as close as he was in those moments. And there was something about letting our guard down in that brokenness that really let that happen, I think, because we couldn't do any of it on our own. And we were finally realizing, all right, we are not in control of any of this. And it was hard. I think the thing that it made me realize, though, through it all was that I put up a lot of my own barriers and my own sense of control in a lot of situations and miss those moments where God is close all the time. And the other thing it made me realize, and I related to this part about what Amber writes about too, is that she says that she never imagined herself as a mom. She always imagined herself as a grandma and then realized she had to have kids to become a grandma. But I was the same way. I never imagined myself as a mom, and it wasn't until we lost our first baby that I really had this desire to hold Maddie in our arms. So what God did through that and what he healed through that and what he revealed through those moments were so special to us. And so even though it was one of the hardest broken moments for us, he was so close and it was so sweet. The other moment that was very similar was 2 years ago. 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago now, I guess, whenever I lost my job. And it was one of those moments where we just didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know how it was all going to work out. We had no plan. We had no backup. We didn't know anything except that we had a lot of questions about how we were going to make it all work. And it was again that moment where God just came in, just swooped in and sat with us and was present with us in all the unanswered questions. And it took over a year for some of those things to work themselves out. But so those were two moments that I really related to in chapter 7 with her, in a little bit of a different way, right? So the one was super similar to her story, and then the other one was not. I'm sorry, my garage door just went up, so hopefully you guys didn't hear that. The other thing she talks about, and this was the introvert in me responding to this piece, is she talks about a season of being of touch exhaustion. And so we were talking this weekend trying to figure out Maddie's love languages. Maddie's our 3-year-old. And so we were in the park and we kept asking her, we're like, would you rather get a gift or have somebody give you a hug? And then we're like, would you rather have somebody tell you you're doing a good job or, And so we were going through all these either ors with, the love languages, trying to figure out what hers was. And my husband looked at me, he's like, yours is so not touch. And I'm like, I know. And so not that I've been in the situation where I've, been carrying and, being touched by like all the little ones. We only have one, but that's enough. That's enough for me. And so there are times at the end of the day where it's just like, okay, no more touching. I just need to be not needed, not hugged, not anything. And so I thought when she said that, when she had that phrase about being touch exhausted, I was like, yes, all the time. I get that one. I don't know if you guys are introverts or extroverts, if you relate to that or not. Maybe it's not just an introvert thing, but that's how I related to it. If y'all want to comment or something to let me know you're still there, that'd be cool. Okay, chapter 8. We're going to move kind of quickly because I want to get to the giveaway part. So hang out with me. Make sure, share with friends. Tell them to come hang out with us if they want to figure out the giveaway. All right, so chapter 8 is called Secret Hiding Place, and she talks about a couple of different hiding places. And there were 2 things that I thought of with this. So whenever I was little, did you guys ever have hiding places when you were kids? Like that place that you always snuck away to? I remember I've always loved books, so books were definitely a hiding place for me. And then my closet in my room whenever I was little was definitely one. And when we remodeled the house, we were 16 when we remodeled, and they were demoing. And my mom's like, why are there all of these quotes written on the wall in your closet? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess I just didn't think anybody would ever see them. And so I'd go in there and I have a favorite quote from a book and I just write it inside my closet. I'm like, oh, yeah, that wasn't the smartest idea. But I would escape into books all the time. And then, I still do it too. Yes, if I get into a really, really good book, especially a fiction book, I am so immersed in that world and those characters. It is crazy. But journaling, yes, that's a good one too. And the interesting thing that Amber talks about, though, whenever it gets a little closer to the end of the book, she says, because those hiding places can be good, right? We all need that kind of mental break and that escape. But if they become a place where we're hiding, right? So not just a place to escape or to have a break or to be on our own, but if it's a place where we're seriously just trying to hide something, that is not good. And so she says on 92, it's called mercy when the rays beat down and we're forced out of the shadows. I had no secret hiding place left that wasn't in my Jesus, that wasn't in his mercy. And it made me realize that, I gravitate towards these places that I can hide and escape and, go into a different world or somebody else's life. And, but I wonder how often, and I haven't processed this really enough to give you an answer, but I wonder how often that should really be me going to Jesus, right? To hide in him and to be safe in him. And there's not secrets there, but it's just a safe place, and it's not an escape in the sense of, denying or putting off dealing with something that's really going on. So there's just little nuggets like that the whole way through this book, right? So yes, it is. There's so many awesome quotes. She needs a whole line of printables just with the good quotes so I can hang them all over my house. All right, so we're moving on to chapter 9. See, I'm trying to go fast because I don't want to keep you all here forever. Okay, so chapter 9 is where she says, I never once imagined growing up to be a mom. So, okay, so let's see. On page, I have all kinds of stuff underlined in here, but I'm going to jump over to page 100. And she says, there was something about being small that seemed to allow for us to do great big things for the kingdom of God. Isn't that so good? Because I think that whenever we're doing stuff that's online and on social media, which you guys are on right now, right? There's this assumption that we need to be big to do big things for God. Like we have to have big platforms, we have to be big names, we have to be recognized and successful, and that's not really what it's all about. It's when it turns into being big to do big things for Christ, then it's about us and it's not about the kingdom. It's about our kingdom, and that's not at all what we're called to build or grow or invest in. And there's something about being small and staying humble and knowing who we're serving and whose kingdom it is that we're actually doing the work for, that I think gives us the opportunity then to hear better from God where exactly he wants us to go. And there was something that I talked about a little bit in my Declare talk about just the fact that we, are meant to be voices and lights that shine into dark places to the ends of the earth, and not just the famous places, right? So that might mean being small and staying small and being obedient right where God has us, and being present with the people that he has in front of us, and not always striving for the next big thing, because that's not what he has for us. He might have that for certain people, and he's created them and gifted them in ways that they can manage and sustain that kind of lifestyle, but not all of us are meant to be that way. And she talks about this community that ends up building and forming that feels so much like church for her, right? So she talks about, let's see, where's it at? It's a pretty long quote, so I will read it. But she talks about just this small but rich community that they build. And here's what she says. It's on 105. We were 3 couples, each of whom had lost its fit. Oh, isn't that just community? Isn't that just life? And this being broken and bowing to simply contemplate the presence of God was the most holy community experience I had ever had. It was clear to me that he was with us. They were slow to see it, but I could see. It was as close as I had ever been to home, to see Christ in my friends, though I hardly saw him in myself. We were all heartbroken, but we found our small places in living rooms and on front porches. We found our places in silence and laughter. We found that when 3 tiny food budgets combine, you can have exquisite meals. It didn't take long to learn that food and burdens and time were meant to be shared. So good, right? Food and time and burdens are meant to be shared. That is community. And that is really what happens whenever you're okay saying, all right, God, it's not about me, it's about your kingdom, and whatever size, small, large, medium, whatever, just help me be present, help me to share and be open, and just invest in that, right? So I think that's probably one of my favorite quotes from the entire book so far. I haven't finished the book yet. Out of the first 9 chapters, favorite quotes, because it was such a precious reminder to me that it doesn't have to be big, right? We're not called to always be surrounded by lots and lots and lots and lots of people, or even have those platforms online. It's about the close, not acquaintances, right? And that's all good too. Like, it's great to be available and make friends and be, have that reach, especially if your words are life-giving and life-changing and affirming, right? And they point back to God. But the ones you really invest in, the front porch friends and the dining room table friends and the people who can drop over at any time of day, that's a small group. The people I have in my inner circle, the ones who can correct or rebuke or challenge me in love, that is a small circle for me. And there are people in my real life, in my community here where I live, that are part of that. And then there are a very select few that I know online who I have that relationship with. And I think that we can get caught up in feeling like maybe being authentic online or the way that we write means that we have to share everything, every deep burden, right, with all of these people. And that's not healthy, and that's not true. And those things, some of those things, those burdens really need to be shared in small community. So I really loved her take on that, and it really made me want to have a front porch. I don't have a front porch, but if I did, I'd want to call a whole bunch of people over just for iced tea and to hang out for a while. So, all right, so those were the highlights for me. And so what I'm going to do is just chat real quick about the giveaways, right? Yay, giveaways. So, part of getting Amber's book was that I got this beautiful print with it. Do you see? Isn't it so pretty? Love it. And it's pomegranate, and it's amazing, and it goes so perfectly with this book. And I would like to gift it to one of you. So, if you would do me a favor and just comment and tell me if you've read the book, what your favorite chapter is. You can just throw out a chapter number. If you haven't read the book, just tell me something fun that happened this weekend, and then I'll watch the replay and randomly pick a winner out of all your comments. You guys can go ahead and do that. And while you're thinking of your favorites, or, yes, it's on the way in the mail. It's so good. Oh, you're going to love it. Just plan to keep just not doing anything till you're done reading it. It takes all I have to stop reading after the chapters that we're going to talk about so I can remember what we're going to talk about. Okay, so you guys keep commenting, and I wanted to tell you Amber's birthday is today. Woo! Happy birthday, girl. So she's doing a giveaway on her blog. And so if you haven't gone over to Amber's blog yet to enter her giveaway, Dayspring is giving away a beautiful Village Artisans jewelry set. It's a bracelet and necklace, and I own both of these, and they're gorgeous. I kind of should have worn the earrings. It would have made more sense. But you should definitely go over and enter to win that. Ooh, a sibling float trip. What's a float trip? So make sure, so it's super easy to enter. She makes everything easy, right? You just have to follow Dayspring on Facebook and then leave a comment on Amber's Facebook page. But you can see all the details if you go to amberchaines.com, and it's her birthday giveaway post. So make sure you go enter that. Oh, ooh, date nights. We do family date nights now because 3-year-old, we need a babysitter. But Friday we did a family date night too. You canoed down an 8-mile river? Dang, I am impressed. Canoeing sounds fun. I don't think I've canoed. I've whitewater rafted, but it's been a long time. Do you guys do? I mean, we're kind of landlocked, so we've got streams and stuff, but we whitewater rafted in Oregon when I was in 9th grade, so it's been a while. I don't know if I'd be as brave to do it now. It was fun then when I was fearless and didn't think about all the things that could happen, which apparently is something that my mommy brain just decided to inherit after having a child. So now I see worst case scenario everywhere. 2 weddings, holy cow. I hope you had really good cake at them. 2 weddings is a lot to do on weekends. Were you in them or did you just go to them? Let's see, what else did we do this weekend since we're chatting weekends? Oh, well, and before that, just make sure you go wish Amber a happy birthday today. If you follow her on social media, I'm sure she would love that. And, okay, this weekend we did family date night on Friday. which meant we went to Red Robin and Hobby Lobby because that's our jam. And then Saturday, we did a birthday party for one of Maddie's friends. Kids' birthday parties. Super fun. And then, oh, happy birthday to your husband, Jamie. Yay, it's a good day. It's also Anne Voskamp's birthday, if you follow her and want to give her a shout out. And then yesterday, we have a small group with church that we meet every 2 weeks, and so it was our turn to host, so they came over, and we got the backyard all pretty and picked everything up, and then the second everybody got there, it started to rain. So we got to hang out underneath the patio, waiting for it to stop raining. It would have been the perfect time for a group, like, selfie thing, but, you know, fun like getting, yes, Todd, yes, kids' birthday parties, fun like getting your teeth cleaned. You've been there. It's okay. There were party favors. And so once it stopped raining, it was fun. But I mean, we moved these cushions back and forth off our patio 3 times because we saw the rain. We could see it raining in the distance, but we were like, nope, it's going to pass. But just in case, we'll keep the cushions on the patio. The second everybody sat down, and then the skies lit up and it was beautiful and sunny and it poured. I was like, what is happening? It's funny. The things that I think I can plan for never works out. But we had a good time anyway, so we were all very sleepy this morning. That's why I need more coffee. I still haven't gotten a refill, but cheers. Okay, so I'm going to assume that everybody who wanted to be entered into the giveaway has commented, and so I will watch the replay and pick a winner, and I will send you a tweet because I'm assuming that your Periscope handle is the same as your Twitter handle, so keep an eye out for that, and then I'll get your mailing address, we'll direct message and sort it all out. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you've missed any of the book club chats, they are all on my blog. If you go to crystalstein.me and click on blog in the main navigation, one of the drop downs is Periscope Book Club, so you can see all the other videos so you can get caught up. And there's a fun announcement on there today about another project I'm taking over, so if you want to check that out and figure out what Write 31 Days is all about and join me for that, that would be super fun. So hopefully I will see you guys soon. Bye.